Hey, I'm Red, and today I'm going to show you how to take that spacious pad sound that SOUTHSIDE by XXXTENTACION has and use it to make better beats of your own. I'll also give you some free loops if you stuck till the end. With that said, let's begin. Okay, the first thing I want to show you before you decide if you want my advice on this is the final melody I came up with using the simple steps from later in this video. If you like the melody, then stick around because I got a bunch of tips for you. And if not, well, maybe you'd be more interested in learning how to make a guitar melody like Lemonade by Internet Money. Anyways, here's the final melody. SOUTHSIDE's melody has two main elements, and those are the bell pad and the brass top melody. So let's start with the bell pad. This beat was made at 150 BPM in the C minor scale, by the way. Step 1. Which notes should I use? This is SOUTHSIDE's melody progression. Let's break it down. Okay, if you've been watching this channel for a while, there should be about 3 questions popping in your head right now. The first one being, why does this chord have 4 notes? The second is, why is this chord not on beats while the other 3 are? And lastly, why are these notes being used so many times in all these chords? So let's break those down one by one. First, why does this chord have 4 notes? Well, this is a 7th chord, meaning a chord with 4 notes. To create one, simply skip one note on scale and add your note right after, on top of your regular chord. We actually use them because they have a prettier sound than just a normal chord, especially in a chord progression like this one where the notes repeat a lot. You'll want something extra to set the chords apart, like listen to the chord change without the 7th. Now listen to them again with the 7th. It simply gives the chord a much richer sound. That's why we use them, and that's gonna be your first thing in a checklist. 1. Use 7th chords. Why is this chord not on beats like the other 3? Moving your chords one beat forward or backward can affect the energy of the whole progression. We've seen this already in melodies like Lemonade by Internet Money or Richer by Rod Wave. Usually moving your chord one beat to the right lets the energy held by the last chord last longer, making it feel more mysterious and dark. And I think that's the vibe that we're going for in this beat, and that is also the vibe we're gonna go for in our melody, so let's add that to the checklist. 2. Delay the chords. Why are these notes being used so many times? The last point I want to go over is the repetition of these notes. You can see that these notes repeat pretty much throughout the whole pattern, and there's a reason to that. What I think is the reason behind this is that repetition is important in trap beats. In this type of beats, you want your melody to feel kind of creepy and spacious. So to get that effect, it's common to keep the top notes as similar as possible, whether it be on a melody or simply a chord progression. Using similar notes like this with a descending root note progression is very common in trap. So there's the last 2 things we're going to add to our checklist. 3. Add chords that use the same notes, and 4. Descending chord progression. And that's it for the analysis. Now we can finally move on to make our own melody. First, we need a scale, and that's going to be C# minor. Now let's start ticking boxes. Add a simple 4 root note progression. Keep in mind that it needs to go down. Okay, now to make chords out of that, simply skip one diatonic note and add one right after. Skip one and add a note. Do that same thing 2 more times to create 7th chords. Perfect, now let's delay some chords. I'm thinking this one would sound pretty good delayed, so let's try it. Okay, now that the boxes have been ticked, we can move on. Now, before we add a top melody, I want to add some drums so that we get a feel of what kind of energy we're aiming for. I'm going for more of a party kind of vibe, so I'm not going to use trap drums. Listen to this. Now, for a top melody, I'm gonna add a vocal chop progression. So for that, I'm going to use the hooked preset on Arcade. And add this effect to it. Cut out the high end, some chorus to make it bigger, and reverb. And done! That's how to make a spacious bell progression like Sad by XXXTENTACION. Here's our checklist once again in case you want to screenshot this to use it later. And before I play the final beat, if you want to download the melody loop I made in this video, there's a free download link in the description. I make 2-beat breakdowns a week, so if you want more of this, subscribe, and as always, see ya!